No South Connection Podcast Network listeners and viewers, welcome into the first episode of Ryan and JT's excellent wrestling adventure. Joining us in this premiere is our buddy Rocco Martone. Rocco, how are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me, and a very cool time in wrestling history for me.
For sure, for sure. Ryan, this is something we've been talking about for a bit. We
Mhm.
wanted to do some kind of live watch gimmick, audio and video, which this is simulcasted on our podcast network audio file and also on our YouTube channel. So if you're there, you can subscribe if you like this and other stuff that we have to offer you. And we decided to just do this random journey. We're going to kind of travel through wrestling history together. We're going to bring in some guests time to time, and we're going to kind of track the stuff we watch. But there was a specific concept you wanted to start with for our initial series of episodes. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I figured we would go out there and take a look at each debut episode that we could stumble upon, and then just kind of take a few positive, a few negatives, get a vibe of the era. And I thought, where are we at with the company as this, debut episode plays, and does it fit the structure of the company? And does the show peak off the bat? Can you believe that the show stumbled across XXX amount of episodes? And just kind of figure where we're at. And we figured starting in 1986, Superstars is everyone's comfort food, and I think it'd be the perfect one to set off and go with.
Yeah, so we're gonna start with that. We're gonna start with the 9/6/86 episode of Superstars, and then we're gonna jump around from there. Like we're gonna do, whatever premiere of Action Zone, premiere of Raw. So we're gonna do like the first episode of a lot of famous pro wrestling television shows. We'll see how long we stick with that, and then eventually we'll probably jump around to something else. But for now, this is kind of the path we're gonna take. At the end or toward the end, we'll hit some categories that we're gonna track as well, and we'll go from there. So we're all queued up.
You could say
And
it's the best way to debut it, Justin.
it is a great way to debut. I believe this is available out there on YouTube if you search around.
There is a
If you want to
YouTube
watch
one.
along with us.
Yeah, there's a dude who has all the superstars, so you could check it
Okay,
out.
so you can find it out there if you want to watch along or just listen. We're just going to kind of bullshit as we go. So we're paused at all zeros. We're going to all hit play at the same time to kick us off. And that's in 3, 2, 1, go. Kind of get the classic WWF logo with the lasers.
And better than that, man.
Yeah, it's very outside vibe as I am here outside in Massachusetts on a Tuesday at 10:30 at night.
What else do you do besides talk wrestling outside on a Tuesday night?
Yeah, it's not like the police station's right across the street from me or whatever.
Yeah, they should give you a medal for watching this.
So we got
That's what
Vince,
they
we
do.
got Vince, we got Bruno and Jesse commentating. Vince and Bruno have the sweet red button-up jackets.
Dude, no one looks
Awesome.
cooler than Bruno
Easily say
when
that.
the up angle on all three of them is just like even the announcers are being treated like fucking gods right now in this era of WWF. It's so cool, and Bruno always cuts such a
That's the
fucking
vibe I'm
awesome
going with.
profile.
Dude.
What'd you
That's the vibe I'm going with the upgrade.
Trying to go with. So this took off of Championship Wrestling, right? Is that what faded for this?
Or All-Star. They both kind of
Or All Star, yeah.
geared off into challenge in this as 86. I think we'll find as we go, Justin, that September, October is going to be the sweet spot for these shows debuting, as it's the
Yes.
start of the fall season for all these syndicated shows or any really TV show.
Yeah, well, Saturday morning cartoons would have all been new right now, so this would have been on right after all that. So yeah, it all aligns and makes sense. And just think contextually, this show debuts, and then within like less than 6 months, Hogan and Andre.
Mhm.
That's insane to think that this is so close to that, and then right after that, Mania 3. So this is the best time to start a new show, right?
It'll
He's
be
great.
interesting too, like Bruno's run here because he's not like it's not that far out where they have their falling out and he's done. But we know he's at least there till 3, right? Because he's like when Steamboat's doing all that stuff with the throat, like he's part of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I think in ring he's pretty much done. I know he's at WrestleMania 2. He's had that stuff with Savage over the summer of '86.
Which
Is
is
he
awesome.
pretty much done overall after that? I think so, right?
I don't remember much of him after
Now
that.
yeah, he's done in 88. I think he's hovering around a little bit, but he's done around here. All right, Terry Gibbs, a favorite of mine, Jobberland, of course.
We got Terry Gibbs and Roger Kirby. I can't say he's high on my knowledge of jobber list here.
He's like a mini Oliver Humperdinck wearing Ken Patera's singlet.
Yes. Did we miss? Was there 3?
No, it's a tag.
No, it's just all right. That was 6-man for a sec. All right, so we got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Alan Parsons project playing in
Yes.
the arena.
And he's teaming with is this Siviafi with him?
It is.
What an opening tag this is.
One of the first instances in WWF where they're just like, that guy's not here right now. Let's make this guy and pretend like it's him. Like, also proof that not all Samoans are great workers, like they always say.
No, we covered a lot of Siviafi on the Place TV podcast, doing all those MSG house shows, and like they treated him like such a big deal the first couple, and then they quickly, you could tell they gave up on him and just did not give a shit. He kind of figured it out toward the end, like his stuff late got a little bit better, but early on he's a disaster.
He was fine, but you just can't.
Yeah, he's
can't
like
do
a
that in
mix
New
of
York.
Jimmy Snuka. Oh God,
He's kind of like the Lance Von Erich of the Samoans, right? They,
Yes.
they pretend it's like he was part of the family. And...
Or the who's the Funk brother?
Oh, Jimmy Jack?
Jimmy Jack Funk, yep.
Jimmy O, whatever the fuck his name was when he was his jobber.
Yeah,
these
his
guys
dad
are
was
moving up for
brother.
a job match.
Yeah, right. Like, also, like he does look so much like Snook on this little video player.
If you're watching it, yeah, if you're not watching it like and studying it, I have to listen to a few podcasts, but I go through the prime times religiously late at night. I've been through them probably like 10 times already, just letting them run. And there was one on the other night, and I thought it was Snuka for a minute because you see him from the back with the tights and the hair. You can see why they took that approach and tried to. First they tried with Tonga Kid, right? They tried to make him be kind of take over from Snuka, like with the Piper feud and all that, and then that kind of didn't work out. So then they brought in Siviafi.
They didn't actually dress him like that. I mean, I was watching this and I was 9 and watching this on like a 10-inch fucking TV, so it might have been black and white too. God only knows, but yeah, I probably was just like, well, they called Snuka something different in this match.
Right, new name for Superfly.
Good man, he hits those.
The boots. I mean, not the boots. The knee pads and the tape around the legs are very similar too.
It really is. I mean, Patero, he looks like Ken Patera in this.
Yeah.
So like shit, man, you might have thought you were watching a totally different match. And that
I wanted to call out too the theme for the show earlier was I think it was, did Andre use it in the original WrestleMania the arcade game, or was it just the WrestleMania arcade game intro song? It was, they definitely used it in the WrestleMania arcade game. Not arcade, WrestleMania, whatever, not the arcade game, but the first NES WrestleMania game. Dun, 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 dun. I think it might have been Andre's song. Because he used to play the music during the matches in that game.
Snuka with the purple tights too is kind of a cool look. That, you know.
Siviafi, so you just did it. Or did you mean Steamboat?
No, I meant Snuka. Oh, I said Snuka. So I meant Steamboat.
Oh, I was gonna say, mix
like that
up.
purple and red is like a pretty cool look, man.
All right, the work is picking up here as we get Steamboat in here.
Oh yeah,
Gibbs just gets out of the way, so Steamboat could throw him in.
I mean, you can tell Offie just took a bunch of offense, so Steamboat could come in and get the hot spots. But you know.
Yeah, leaving the headband on, you could tell how invested he is here.
It's cool that they did this though, kind of like, I like when they don't do this enough. They're doing a little bit on Raw in '96 on Wrestling Warzone, where Chad and I are at every other Monday. We're going through the Monday Night Wars, but where they have like 2 stars just randomly tagged for a match. Like WCW did that a lot in the early '90s too, with a bunch of tags. I just kind of like it. It's like, why can't we just get a tag jobber match with two guys working together just to show that they're unified? And they may not work together all the time, but they're on the same page.
Yeah, establish a little buddy cop.
Yeah, and it's a business, right? Like, hey man, put me out there, maybe make some money. I'll have a tag with fucking Siviafi tonight.
Right.
That was a really cool way to get him into the match too, doing the fucking up there with about to take the belly to back, and he hits the tag like, and he goes over the top like Ron Simmons, trains obviously by the same guy as all those dudes.
Yeah, so fine way I think to start this new show is like Steamboat's super over. We can't be too far off from like starting to hint toward the Savage feud, right? I think Jake was Jake done? Because Big Event's done.
Big Event's what? August?
Yeah, and I think that was a snake pit, right, with Jake and Steamboat, and that was kind of it.
Only 6 months away from Mania 3, right? So it definitely has to happen pretty soon.
Right, it's got to be coming soon. I don't remember when the Larinax stuff was, if that's like December, December.
Elizabeth looks amazing in that cover, by the way. That magazine.
Yes.
Big fan. I got to remember too, real quick, is like to open a match like a Superfly Splash was a big fucking deal back then. Like I remember any dude coming off the top rope, man. I can guarantee the 9-year-old Rocco me was very impressed. So don't like that's a high flying match kind of in a way to start this fucking show, and that's kind of like starting with a cruiserweight match.
Kind of fitting as we're taping this.
Yeah.
Superstar Billy Graham's on life support, which may end any day.
Is this before or after the infamous surgery footage came out?
This is before.
Okay,
So
that's
this
my
is
thought.
starting to hype his comeback. And I don't think he actually comes back for a while. I think it's like summer of 87. And that's when Gang attacks him and messes his leg up. And then he has a surgery. And then he manages Morocco. So
This is a choice right here. Holy shit.
spider walking
Tarantula on
all
your
over,
fucking head, man. That's such a cool move.
Well, Rocco, that's a Snapchat filter. 30 years before.
I would Snapchat filter everything in there. The glasses, the earrings, and the fucking smiter.
This must have been pretty recent after him coming back from WCW or NWA, right? Where he's doing the Kung Fu stuff. Is that 85 into 86 he was doing that?
No, he I think it's around here before he becomes a manager. Because it kind of gets low-key rejected.
Yeah, well, the Kung Fu stuff's in NWA. I think that's before this. It was before this. This is like his return from the NWA.
All right, here we go. The Hart Foundation, all in black with a little hint of pink.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you know, they've been around for a little bit now too at this point. So because they showed up
about 14,
85,
15,
right?
Yeah, they showed up right after WrestleMania 85.
Yeah.
Unhinged Neidhart. The best.
I mean, they're close to becoming champs. I think that's like November 2, I believe.
I mean, hey man, this is a pretty high profile match.
Yeah, I like it. I like that they're not just going full jobber stuff. They're trying to establish a show right away with.
And I like how it's second opposed to first. You know.
Right.
I mean, and people could always say Coco was, you know, a jobber to the stars, whatever. Like to me as a kid, he was as big of a star as everyone. You know, like it just everything was presented. All these dudes seemed so fucking important coming out that it didn't seem like anything. I didn't think he was going to lose every match. You know, like because he didn't, but he kind of did when he was fighting the big guys. But
God, well, especially at this point, I mean, he had just showed up, so like. He's not established as any kind of jobber or anything at this point, like in his run.
I'm just saying when people watch it now, it's so easy to forget how big he seemed.
But that's why this is like a name match because he had, you know, he was still a name here. He's always a name, but like you put the same match in 1990, you know, he's not winning. But like here, it's like, all right, well, he might give him a run. He's got Roma with him. Roma's been around for a couple of years now. This is right before the Young Stallions are going to get together.
No entrance for Roma either.
Well, he came out with Coco.
Did he?
Yeah,
he showed him in the ring.
Yeah, no, he was behind him. He went in the ring when Coco danced around the side. But
yeah, get in the ring. You're not worthy.
Yeah, he's just
we're flying off the bat though here.
So this is we got to be getting close to Danny. Like how they started the show at the right time because we got to be getting close to Danny Davis too, right? That happens when the Harts win the tag titles.
Mm-hmm. I believe that's how they win it, right?
Yeah, I think I'm wrong on the time. I think it's more like February that they win.
Well, their big thing is what we just did on the No So monthly is when they kind of right around that same time frame, right?
Yeah, it's right before 3, right?
Yeah,
they are champs at WrestleMania 3. It's just non-title to 6-man.
Yeah, it was.
I feel like it's February where they beat the Bulldogs for the belts with Davis.
No, it's this January or December because Dynamite has that hurt back, and then they have a totally like Tito fills in with Bulldog.
Yeah,
I went over it with Mark. I said there was like a Steamboat, a few other guys fill in for him, and then once he gets healthy enough, they drop it.
Yeah, so
he wanted to be in the match. He wanted to do the honors. Dynamite did.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't like Davey like carries him out on his back for that match. I think
it's
like
only like a 3-minute match.
Yeah, he like piggybacks him out. I'm curious. I was curious if we got any hints of Danny turning yet, but it looks like the Harts are about to ice us on Roma.
Pretty much destroyed Roma there, man.
It's like Coco got a couple of spots on, and we're still getting a Coco inset promo as the Hart Foundation finish off.
Coco got his entrance in his promo. He's doing great.
I mean, it showcases Coco as being able to stay in there with Brett, and then it shows that they're dominant dudes who you can't beat us unless we are a real fucking tag team.
They're still getting Coco's lunch money though.
And then we're gonna mug you at the end of the match. Maybe not.
Drop kick.
Coco, clean him out.
Whoa.
Oh, gotta get that dance in. Oh, what a drop kick.
There you go.
Mush.
Clean it out.
That was fucking Sweet.
Jimmy
He's
gonna
our,
get one?
our lead in the clubhouse right now for MVP is Coco Beware.
Dude. Match of the and then a fucking cartwheel. And then Roman's like, let me get some of that shine from you, buddy. But nah.
Even
Coco's
though
like, stay away from me.
even though Rocco just disputed my 5'8" claims a few months ago, Coco can't be much taller than me, right?
I'd say you guys are about the right height. Same height.
Yeah.
You and Coco.
I think you're the
Same
right height
build, too.
for
Yeah, you don't have Coco's ass.
Don't make me, don't make me show it. It's thick.
my brain is farting. Did he ever use the brain buster? He did, right?
Oh yeah, they called it the
That was his
Ghostbuster.
move, right?
Yeah.
Kind of wild to think that move was, which is like kind of like banned
Yeah.
in this day, was given to like a guy like that. Was his
Yeah, he did the drop kick sometimes, but then he did a Ghostbuster. I think he mainly did it in squashes. He's like a notorious low key great squash guy. Like he used to really beat the shit out of jobbers. He's on that list with
those
the Steiners
ones where he's like clotheslining dudes right in the throat and dropping them on their heads. Yeah, I've seen some rough footage with Coco.
He's kind of on like the Bushwhacker plan, like a guy that was awesome in the territories, took the check, and was happy to be the kid-friendly merch guy and just ride it out. I mean, he kind of goes on that plan. Duggan's a little bit up the ladder from those guys, but kind of similar. Like these dudes that killed themselves in the territories suddenly took the big payday and said, "Fuck it, we can make as much money kissing kids and selling foam 2x4s and hats and whatever."
Well, I mean, they pillaged World Class pretty much and took all their monsters and turned them into like family-friendly dudes, right? Like, so why not? I'd do it.
Man, I almost wore that macho shirt tonight. I wore this one instead, but I should have worn that one.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
I love the way he holds the belt. Like no one holds it like that still. Like this day, it's such a it's like part of his body. It's an extension of who he is, and it really watching him hold it the way he holds it shows you why he loses his fucking mind when he's gonna lose it, and why he doesn't want to lose it because it's just part of him. It's insane. Like it doesn't. It's such a perfect nuance for his character.
We can't even hear what he's saying right now.
Yeah, I'm curious. Is he talking about anyone specific? Because I'm curious.
He's still not doing fucking Steel, is he? He's done with Steel, right?
God, Steel goes forever. No, Steel goes till 3. I mean, because they fight on Science Main Event like 6 times.
Yeah. Even after 3, I think they have 1, don't they?
Yeah, I think there's one more after 3.
And then Steel moves on to like the Danny Davis feud, actually, when he's like kind of
that's right,
embroiled with him.
It must just be mainly Steel here because Steamboat hasn't started.
But even when he was feuding with Steel, he had bigger. He would include Steel, but he was always talking a grander scale of things. Like he knew he had to eradicate Steel and keep him away from his woman, but he was always had his eyes on something else in the future.
So this feed is Boston. They're hyping a Boston Garden show. So I didn't hear who he's fighting, but it's that night. Because Chet Kopic just said tonight at the Boston Garden. We'll find out. So Savage was hyping some match at the Garden.
Let's guess Tito.
Honky's just running down the names. Who is this honky tonk man? I don't know if Honky had the vote and all that yet.
Oh, the what?
The vote to go right now. He's shit talking Orndorff. Orndorff's a heel, so I guess he's still a face here.
How long is he a face? He's
I don't think they ever told him he was a face.
Well, he just debuted.
He always seems so fucking unlikable. Like I don't know if retroactively.
Well, that's why I thought that was a heel promo. It sounded like a heel promo, but he was calling out Orndorff, who would have been a heel here.
I don't know if they want to retroactively pretend like they did the same thing with Kurt. Like, we knew it was going to turn. Oh God!
Oh, Pete Doherty,
finest, yes, one of the best.
Duke of Dorchester.
Look at that! Look at all this personality this motherfucker has for a job.
Oh, we had to get the fucking hillbillies.
God damn, love it.
Fucking Junior.
The bane of Justin's wrestling.
It better not be Junior or Elmer. It's got to be one of them, I guess. It's
got to be.
Oh no, hang on. We got Hillbilly. Who's that behind him? I don't think it's another one.
Hillbilly's low-key okay.
Is that our CD?
No, that's.
Oh no. Oh God, Luke's all right. It's Junior and Elmer. I hate.
Like I just mentioned, World Class. Like it was weird for me because I knew World Class, so he was like the Mongol, and he was a big deal in World Class. I mean, he was definitely like their secondary champ for a long time, and he was always in like crazy feuds. So I was always kind of like taken aback that he's wait, what? I thought, what do you mean he's this guy now? Like holy shit! But he could go, man. He's no fucking every other hillbilly.
All right, so September 6th was the Boston Garden House show. It was aired on Nessun. We got Pedro, and a lot of it aired on primetime. We got Pedro Morales beating Rene Goulet, CV Affi defeating Pete Doherty, Savage defeated George Animal Steel, so that's what he was talking about in that promo. The Hart Foundation fought Danny Spivey and Mike Rotundo to a time limit draw.
Ooh,
Actually, I think this is the primetime I was just watching the other
Wait, are
night.
you saying Mike Rotundo was in a time limit draw? That's
20-minute
I don't
draw.
believe it. I don't believe
20-minute
it.
He's
draw.
actually okay. As Rotundo in this era, he's fine.
Holly Race defeated Corporal Kirchner. Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. beat Cousin Luke. The British Bulldogs beat Nikolai Volkov and Iron Sheik. And Big and Super Machine defeated King Kong Bundy and Big John Studd. That's the main event. I think this is the primetime I was just watching because I think I saw that Hearts versus Spivey and Rotundo draw. So there you go. Good
The
timing.
fact that the machines didn't exist longer is wild to me when I think back, because they were so fucking important for a while, and
Yeah.
they never even made a Mania match. You know, like they don't even know if
Yeah.
they weren't even on pay per view, right? They never made a pay per view.
They're at the big event if you
That's
count
it.
that.
How long is their run?
God, it's not long, right? I mean, shit. Definitely, he's Andre again by Feb.
Yeah, but they do without him too, right?
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
they do just have.
Big and
That's a
Super
machine.
or whatever.
Yeah, but they're barely doing anything.
Yeah, I
Pete
mean, they're a big deal during a time where there's not a lot going on besides just TV. So, like, if you watch those prime times and stuff all through '86, like, they're all over those shows with Bobby trying to prove it's Andre. They're in Japan. Like,
Well, I just mean that like someone who just watches like pay per views, kind of like they don't.
yeah, you'll
exist,
never
right?
really see much about them. Yeah.
And it's a shame because like that was a big deal for me, man. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, right? Like they're tricking the fucking bad guys, and it's Andre. Oh man, I love Pete Doherty bumping, man. He's.
I was just gonna say, man, that bump was excellent.
Dude, he's
Like,
so
Ron
good.
Shaw's not bad either. Ron Shaw's giving him a little run here.
He's just so
bumping around.
animated and captivating, dude. Like I love it.
His mannerisms, his facials, he just rules.
He's just unhinged. He's a madman, right?
I think Doherty's socks may be my most 1986.
The socks popping out the top of the boot is always a very 1980s thing. Damn, Hillbilly's fucking ripped to shit, man. I love it.
Oh, the bear hug, it's over. Thank God.
Damn. Yep.
Not just any socks. It's the white with the red and blue stripes across the top.
He's got a double color.
So
that way you can wear them with any clothes. Although he's wearing them with green, so.
Did they say where this episode was?
It had to be Northeast if the Duke is there.
Yeah, I mean he's barely left fucking Boston or New England.
I'm trying to find this taping.
Oh, yeah.
So the big event was a week before this, actually. It was
Oh.
August 28th. So the first challenge taping was the 27th in Hartford. The first Superstars taping. Oh, this is in Providence, actually.
Oh, that's
nice.
That's where Pete's from, right?
Yeah, it's in Providence on August 26th. So this and the first challenge taping actually took place before the big event.
Yeah,
Aired after, but
Honky talking about Orndorff after the big event's kind of weird, right? That's
so they get this is replacing either All Stars or Wrestling or Championship Wrestling.
They both are. Challenge and this debut together, pretty much.
Either one, whatever one this is taking over for, it's the same cadence right away. It's a match, it's a backstage promo, it's a short match. You get the second match as the super short match, you got the opener as the fun, longer one, and then you got your beret of managers with promos or whatever. I'm curious how long that format sticked, really.
This is the best dressed managing duo of all time right here.
Co-manager thing is so weird.
Freddie just looks like my grandpa. So that's why I love him so much. He's definitely one of my favorite of all time. Like I've seen some of his crazy matches where he's like stabbing people with pencils, but man, he's such a good talker. He's such a presence.
I mean, it's a good little concept too to have like this mentorship where it keeps Blassie on TV, but they could let Slick take the road, right? That's kind of the idea behind it. And they pulled Slick, Coco, and Reed all came in from Central States at the same time, pretty much, right? Don't they kind of bring them all in?
As far as
I know Reed and Slick come from Central States, but
Blassie's not going to mess with these.
Man, Davey looks so young.
Yeah, it's wild how young.
Just watching him talk and not even hear it, you can look how much charisma he doesn't have.
And you can tell
he wasn't bizarre yet.
Billington's head is bigger than his at this point, which is wild.
He's just so dead in the eyes as he talks. He's like,
that's right, Ken. Oh, I called him Czech Kopic before. It's Ken Resnick. Resnick's around for a bit, right? I think he's there at least through 87.
88, right?
Yeah. Does he leave when Mooney comes in? Or no, George comes in 87.
Are we getting a commercial? Oh, fuck. I thought we were getting a
Almost.
full one. It is kind of wild that Benoit literally also had the same haircut as fucking Dynamite Kid, too, right? Like, you're really going all for it, huh?
A lot of it's like eerie.
All right, who
Tommy
we got here?
Sharp. God, this guy looks like he works at Radio Shack during the week, and then
He's definitely my soccer coach when I was in 3rd grade. I
he
think.
might have been one of mine. I mean, if this is a
Oh,
problem,
for real though.
I don't think I
Oh,
even
shit.
resonated with me. The first Superstars was in Providence.
No, it's
Getting
pretty
the
cool.
real deal now, guys. Fucking Kamala.
Ooh.
Not even Uganda Giant. He's a Ugandan headhunter here.
I love him so much. Such a great character.
He's another guy that if you're only watching pay-per-views, you would never see him because he's not on any during this time. He debuted after WrestleMania, and he's gone by 3. You catch him on a Science Main Event.
Yeah, there's no Rumble.
Yeah.
God. I mean, he had a manager and a handler. Like, such a cool concept that he was a fucking wild dude. And King Curtis.
I think his biggest match is Hogan in Boston. Like, I think at the end of the year, it's like a big Boston Garden match between the two of them.
In the WWF, definitely.
Yeah,
far.
that's what I mean. And during this run, yeah.
But just the fact that I didn't even know that Bam Bam match was supposed to happen at Mania, dude. When you guys mentioned that, and I saw the picture.
What,
I
at
was
9?
Like, oh yeah, I would have killed for that match.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like a rumored thing either. I mean, that was like supposed to happen. I mean, it was announced on TV and it was in the magazine.
I mean, Kamala gets derision, but I don't know, man. He was doing what he was told, and like I believed his character for the time. His character was believable, and like whatever you could say, like, oh, why doesn't he know how to turn the guy over, man? Like, I don't know. Sometimes you fucking forget shit. I don't know.
As a face, he worked. I think the problem is,
but he's look how aggressive he is here, though. He is a vicious monster right here. Like,
well, he can still move. I mean,
yeah.
like you've seen that cage match with Andre, right? Like he's great in that.
Those chops look vicious. He's coming fucking from East Coast to West Coast with those chops, man.
It's just I think the problem is like Marcus and I got into like by 92, he's just washed, and like sticking him with Taker just like wasn't gonna work at that point. And I think the play was they did it right. They turned him face and made him again like the guys we talked about, Bushwhackers, etc. He was like a lovable face in 93 that like the fans could cheer him to turn the guy over. He had Reverend Slick with him. Like it was actually not a bad idea. I stick by the fact that Berserker was there on a platter for them in 92, that they should have just done Taker Berserker because Nord could still work. And they had the whole stabbing thing on Superstars.
Did he just stab him already?
Yeah, that sword thing, right?
Yeah, that went nowhere because Kamala came in and they switched it from Berserker to Kamala. Like, I think that would have been. I think Taker's back in 92 would have been stronger, and I think it's because Kamala was just in the ring, just washed. He's not like here; he still can move.
I think
Kamala got SummerSlam and Survivor Series, right?
Yeah, and both are like 4 minutes and not good.
How dare you?
Yeah, but that casket was epic.
The way people judge matches is wild to me. You guys, the fact that the system to judge matches was dictated by like a nerd and Dave Meltzer, and people still follow that's how matches are supposed to be is wild.
Well, now you're just assuming we follow that. I just think
it's what every person's. People grabbed on early to that early adopter and just kind of felt like that's what matches should be. And I think
actually Jim Cornette. Meltzer got it from Cornette.
Well, he's
I feel like here in North South Connection, we're a little off of that path with a lot of stuff. We give a lot of rewarding for Big Hoss Boy slugfest that Meltzer would have at a star, like that.
I think you're right. I mean, look at this match. I mean, this guy's a big dude. He's coming at him. Kamala's keeping him away. Like
I listened to think of the Luger Giant match. You guys went 3.75.
And I was gonna say Faces of Fear Outsiders. I think like Meltzer and Keith had like at a star or whatever, and we were like 3.
Simply the fact that he is Kamala, those guys will not give him a fucking good match rating.
Yeah, but 92 Kamala is. I'll stand by that. Like that match at SummerSlam is just bad. 87 Kamala is good. He's great here, and I think again, it's just some of these dudes, and like you hear guys like I think Chad has said it, like D'Amato said it, like 86 WF is like awesome. I just think you have to really do what we're doing here, or take the time to dig into a lot of the like house shows and TV to get the full feel for what it was like. Like I said, I like watching those prime times and stuff because you get to see the highlights of all the shit that was going on that you don't if you just do pay-per-views or even Chinese main events. Because we talked about it a ton of place to be, right? Those Chinese main events, they almost take place in their own universe. Like there's shit they don't reference. Like that one before WrestleMania 3, they don't even talk about WrestleMania 3. It's like they exist only in the NBC world and nothing else. So if you're only watching those and pay-per-view, you miss a ton of stuff throughout the year.
Oh, you're right. I mean, it's definitely its own, almost like its own brand at that point. Saturday
Yeah.
Night's Main Event.
So you'll miss Kamala's run. You'll miss the machines. You almost would miss most of the Orndorff Hogan feud outside of the cage match, the Saturday's Main Event. You know.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't understand why Orndorff is considered one of the best. Like that turn is so important because no one really saw it. Here's a guy that rules.
Well, I think we may. I'm curious if this is because the prime time I just watched had the Piper beatdown with those matches I just told you about. So I'm wondering if this is it, or maybe it's the week after.
Piper's already rocking and rolling here. Oh yeah, you got Ace. Yeah.
Oh shit! Look at that. Crowd's throwing shit at him. He was such a good heel at this point. Such a monsterish like.
He's like Blue Meanie crossed with Goldust right now.
But like he was he was still a tough guy. Like he wasn't like.
Oh yeah, he was awesome in the ring.
Best fucking bumper like almost ever.
This is it. Here we go. Yeah, this is
oh shit! This is a classic.
This is the kickoff.
Yes. Wow, they launched the Superstars off with a huge angle.
Hey man, start
So
hot.
when did Piper turn face?
Right here. This is
This is his face turn.
Yeah, because he left after 2. He leaves the flower Piper's Pit to Adonis. Adonis turns it to the flower shop and
that's when he gives him his jacket too, right?
Yeah.
All right. Adonis gives Piper the jacket.
Yeah.
Shall we play the
No, that's all right. But I think this is I don't know if this is Piper's first time back on TV. I'm not sure.
I mean, he's got a contract. I guess that's a contract in his hands. I'm assuming.
I'm curious if he's already going to Hollywood. You know, how far out he planned that.
Yeah, because I mean, he retires in
they
March.
live the same year as.
They give him a full send off too. It's just like it's like he graduated the WWF to go to Hollywood.
Right.
Yeah. Well, They Live came out in '87, and this is, I mean, I would think he was filming it maybe when he was away for that. I don't know if it was that, but that was like, I'm sure he thought that movie, which was a big fucking deal. But he kind of thought he'd never come back, maybe.
Yeah. Then he's back as an announcer at WrestleMania. Well, no, he's back 2 years later at WrestleMania 5, and then he kind of sticks as an announcer in the late '80s, early '90s.
One of the great examples of Adonis is he's one of the early examples of the Vince fat shaming, and the guy just took it and fucking went, I don't give a shit, I'll be fucking awesome at it, and he ran with it, and he got even bigger. He's a shame. He's a guy that died so early and had such a great run.
When did he die?
He could have definitely made a comeback. He had a
by
car
90.
accident. 88.
Yeah. 88, yeah.
He's 88. Holy
He dies
shit!
in 88.
Because he comes back. He's got the short hair. He's got the old school leather jacket. He's fucking wrecking dudes, and then he just dies. Like, I don't even know if he was 30 years old. But
all right, so Piper was back already. He came back in July. He's at King of the Ring in Foxborough, and then August he's back on pretty much on Championship Wrestling. This isn't the beatdown. This is the beginning of the feud. The next week. So this is him to say Piper Spit's back next week. Then next week, Adonis challenges him to a Piper Spit versus Flower Shop in 2 weeks. So I think a month from this is when they do the big beatdown with the pipe and all that.
Fucking unhinged. Love it.
So this is the build, the beginning of the build to WrestleMania 3 already, right here, Piper and Adonis. Here we go. Again, an ad, Rocco.
What a little alien selling something. I don't know what it was.
All right, who do we got here for job?
Early Rougeaus.
Oh, the Rougeau brothers.
Very early Rougeaus.
You can recognize them.
Oddly enough, still employed by the WWF. Right? He's the Canadian announcer, isn't he?
Do they still do it?
Ray? Isn't Ray the guy? I'm pretty sure Ray's the announcer for the French.
Bob Bradley. Wow, they went tag. They didn't go jobbers first.
Mike Fever.
I mean, we had what?
Ryan, how have we not recognized the dunk? It's disappointing.
Only one singles match on this card so far, which is kind of cool.
Well, the ceiling wasn't leaking yet, Justin. That's why we didn't recognize it.
Shit.
We got 15 minutes left, so I guess we at least probably get 2 more matches in here.
I mean, is Hogan going to pop up? You figure he's got to pop up on the first step, right? He's got to have a promo.
Well, we got Piper. We got the Hearts.
You got to have Hogan on the first episode, man.
I think Piper. We'll see if he's a star.
Got Steamboat too. You got Steamboat.
Yeah, we got Steamboat and Piper. There you go. Bruno's getting into the
Stomp right in the fucking face.
Bruno's getting into the Rougeau family.
Oh, what a bump from Bradley. Fever goes down.
Mike Fever, like he was great on Growing Pains, but
I'd say if he was a football player, Berman would definitely call him Mike Saturday Night Fever.
I like to get in the inset.
Oh, there you go. They get the French commentators. Eduardo Carpentier. I missed who he said was with him, but
Oh, great hip toss. Great bump. Fever. Fever.
Yeah, you're in Rhode Island. You gotta say Fever. I like how
Squash
that's
is- yeah.
that
Go
much of a kick, and Gorilla would be someone like Gorilla would be like he's using his martial arts here. Like all you gotta do is do like one savate kick, and they call you a martial artist back in '86.
The
I
squashes
don't
were
know if
such
I
an
like
art
these
form.
black tights though for the Rougeaus.
Yeah,
it's a little bland for a team that.
I mean, it's a little Furnace and Lafonish, like just a technical team, not much, flair to them right now. They're just kind of a quality, hard-hitting team.
Guys don't do that power slam anymore like that with just like a couple steps and the guy's going down right from the start. Like it's like sloppy-ish and just looks so good. Oh fuck, that was awesome.
Good squash. I like it.
That's a cool way to take him out, trying to get his boy over the top of his guy. The 3 count. That's awesome.
You can see their douchebag mannerism so far.
Yeah, they're definitely sneaking in a little bit.
They also don't seem like guys I'd really want to go to a bar with. Give me Pete Doherty. It'd be a much funner night than these fucking squares.
Ray, maybe Ray. Ray would feel like Jock would definitely get like 3 drinks out of you before he would offer to pay one.
Yeah, definitely.
Ray would probably go 1 for 1 with you.
And Jock would hit on the only girl that's with a guy too. He wouldn't ever hit on a girl that's not with a guy. And then leave you to deal with the aftermath. Ray's kind of fucking thick though too. Like his shoulders are solid in this.
Yeah, it sucks. I think he just gets hurt, right? And that's why Jacques ends up kind of running solo. Jacques one of those weird guys where I don't think he actually ever leaves, but he'll be off TV for like a year at a time. Like the Rougeaus finish, and it's a year before he's the Mountie, but I think he was maybe still kind of around. And then the Mountie finishes, and like a year later, the Quebecers show up.
Yeah, the amount of guys doing like house shows back then, because like back then was the era of the 3, like the big shows on like there was still WWF in like my high school gym in 1986 and 87 when they're at their height.
They're still there in like 92, 93 as well. Like
right, just running
95,
everything.
they were even in high school gyms,
which is crazy to think, but they just anywhere they could run.
I like how they're still using like the real music too at this point. Like they had "Living in America" as the out bump right there. Like that's kind of crazy.
Oh shit, we got a little machine action here. What is this? They rebuilt the flower shop?
No, this is
they got all the
highlight.
too.
This is a highlight
from the other night.
Championship Wrestling.
Sorry, man.
Oh man, does Captain Lou stress you guys out? Just
I hate Captain Lou.
Fucking.
I don't hate him, but I've just never been a Captain Lou fan.
I know what he smells like from here. It's not great.
Yeah, fucking bologna and sausage.
Yeah, yep. There's like red wine vinegar in there too. That's just way
condiments too, Rocco. Mustard and mayo and stuff.
No,
you don't see Bobby with glasses often. That's pretty funny.
Rocco, what's your favorite condiment?
I could tolerate barbecue, or sriracha. That's about it.
Oh, sriracha's the worst. It's like actually, it's fitting. Actually, that's fitting.
I just like the heat. Give me the heat.
How about hot sauce?
It's got to have a little sweet to it for me, just like Adrian Adonis. I like my
This is like a funny stooging around. So Bobby is this is when he's trying to prove that Andre's a giant machine, even though he's suspended. So they kept doing this bit where it was Super Machine. Bobby would turn around and talk to Jimmy Hart, and Andre came out, and Bobby turned around. He's like, "See, he's right there," and then he turned back, and then he was gone.
How about these guys, Rocco? Would you like to go to the bar with these two?
Fuck yeah, dude. This is a fucking team.
Bundy seems like a great time.
Dude, hilarious. One of the best shooting interviews I ever saw was a Bundy shooting interview, man. He don't fucking hold back. There's a reason he ain't in the WWF Hall of Fame is because he does not give a fuck.
I like Stud and Bundy as a team. I think they're, again, like kind of underrated historically.
Dude, rules. Could have been the
better
original
Colossus. Stud and what the fuck, Pantera.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at these guys.
Kirchner.
I mean, you forget, like, Stud, like, god damn it, like, good looking, fucking, man. Oh, shit, the Kirsch. One of the strangest careers ever, right? Like, Corporal Kirchner, whatever happens.
Leatherface.
Goes to Japan and becomes Leatherface for fucking years. Fucking Deathmatch King for years. people think he dies. He's supposed to be in that battle royal. He didn't show up to that. Like, what a weird career he had.
And then even when he dies in like 08, 09, whenever he dies, it's still weird where it's like, are we sure he's dead? Did he die?
Yeah, like we don't know his name. Like, it's so weird. Also strange that he never. I guess he was on an ECW show and like when FMW does their shows, but a guy that I would have thought they would have brought in a little bit,
Right.
but I don't know if he'd ever even moved back to the United States. Maybe he just fucking lived in Japan, you know?
Nah, he met a girl and fell in love. Definitely that type.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Man. SD Jones too. Like, what a fucking unit, man. I love that guy. Like, he's one of those guys that if you ever watch his NWA or New Japan stuff, like from before WWF, it just looks so weird. like
we've got some good competitive matches here. So we had Coco in that one tag. Now we got SD and Kirchner here against Stud and Bundy. So like you can tell they're trying to mix up the formula a little bit and not just go straight squash up down. I'm sure it doesn't probably last super long. They probably default back to the standard quickly, but maybe just some false sweeps. They were trying to ratchet.
And they're short matches, but they're all go, go, go. There's no
Right.
bullshit. There's no nerve holds and shit. No. Like, look at Kirchner's trying.
I mean, Kirchner was definitely their attempt to make everyone forget Sergeant Slaughter, but again, similar to CV Afi was not. Maybe he did a little better than the CV probably, but
one of the guys who with the shortest careers who had an LJN, right? Like maybe Outback Jack is the shortest, but he's definitely number 2 if you ask me. Oh Jesus Christ, that's pretty goddamn impressive, man. That's a big motherfucker.
I mean, Kirchner in '86 gets a bit of a push. Like he's at Mania, he beats Nikolai in like 2 seconds. Then he fights him on Science Mid event. He's in that one where they're at the water park. Remember, he rappels down into the water. So I mean, he's
in the tournament, the pay-per-view tournament, the second one.
Oh, the classic.
This got to be our main event here.
Yeah, it's got to be, right?
Yeah, what do we got left? Yeah, we got 7 minutes left. So we'll probably do this, couple of interviews.
This and then like a promo. If it's true to the formula. Actually, it would be this and then they plug the Garden, whatever your arena you're near.
Yeah.
As far as Bundy let him kick out of that one. SD Jones was like really like, I don't know. What did you guys think of him when you first saw him? Like, I always loved that dude.
I love the SD name. It's like I kind of mark out for that.
He was kind of not around when I started watching, so I only knew him from like being the guy that got killed by Bundy at WrestleMania 1, and then I learned more about him later, like when we did PTB and did the MSGs. By then I know more about it, but he wasn't like on my radar as a kid or anything.
He just like always like, even though he wasn't winning matches, like he was boys with Andre. You know, he's always tagging with Andre, and like, you know, he always was. I don't know. I just really liked him. Watching him like tag with Abby the Butcher in like New Japan in like the 90s too was a really wild thing to watch.
He's part of that match with Snuka and Andre, right? When Andre gets like busted open, is he in that one?
Yeah, it's the big 6-man that he's in, and he's even on a mug.
Is he with him too? With the one with the Andre gets his haircut? Is he with him in that?
Fucking Christ, I conflate those two together. So
it might be that one and not the 6-man. I think he might be with him in that one, the haircut match.
So he should have been there. So I shouldn't like him because he let Andre get his haircut. Be pissed at him now.
Here we go. Repeat of WrestleMania 1. Avalanche.
There it is, right there. He didn't go for the splash. He just hit him with the avalanche too. He's like, that's it. That's all I need.
CSD. But again, Kirchner got some shine, like Coco. Kind of got in, got out, and let the other guy take the fall. So I think it was well set up.
When does Kirchner leave? He's not at 3. No, is he at 3? No, he's not at 3.
He's got to be soon, probably.
You know, he went out with a fucking ball of flames, too. He just doesn't settle out. He goes out.
Yeah, I'm sure he was doing the house show circuits for a little bit off of TV or something like that.
Let's see if he's still. I mean, looks like he's there till year end. So it must be early '87. He takes off.
I mean, you say like Sergeant Slaughter, but he was Rambo. Because Rambo came out right before he debuted.
But more in the Slaughter vein, though, because they lost Sarge. They wanted an American soldier character.
Right. But I'm saying, like, it was the perfect timing to steal the Rambo and the camouflage face and the knife and the promos. Like, he is Rambo. They just were like, well, we need to Slaughter. Rambo's huge. Like, fucking do it.
Kirchner's actually there till, let's see, he starts getting subbed out in September of '87. He's still advertised and subbed.
Wow.
He's getting subbed a lot, actually. July. God, they announced this motherfucker from July through September, and he gets subbed out. His last match is July 8th in Decatur, Illinois, against Sika.
Have you ever like gone through the roster of their main like their guys and seen like who wasn't on Mania 3? Because like that's one
Orndorff.
like
Orndorff.
Orndorff. Fuck yeah, he's
That's the
fucking
biggest
bad.
one.
Yeah, I think of other dudes, but Pete Doherty. Fuck, where's he?
Yeah, he should have main evented.
Blackjack Mulligan. I think he did. He shows back up right after.
Wasn't that him right there? Isn't he the machine? Isn't he the?
Oh yeah, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, you're right.
I think he's talking right here. Oh, who's the bigger
Justin,
one?
we're just gonna get
No,
promos
the
here.
bigger guy's Mulligan.
Yeah,
Axe is a small guy.
Axe. Yeah.
What's up, Brian?
Sorry.
So we're just gonna get promos here if we want to hit up the awards as we.
Oh,
Oh, here
turn
comes
it up.
Steele.
Brian wants to hear what George has to say.
Oh,
Just kidding.
Poor Ken Resnick.
I won't-
Steele's
I-
on my Albano list. I don't like him either.
I don't like the Steel slander. I think his character is important to the wrestling history.
on the
His
Cornell
cage match with Bruno.
15-minute love match. I love fucking note for 15.
I
minutes.
just he wasn't when I started watching. He wasn't on. So then I would just rent tapes, and it's like I just didn't have the attachment to the guy. It just seemed stupid.
I love that he was like a principal at like an elementary school.
He worked at Borders at the same time I worked at Borders, but like as like some sort of like guy on the board kind of thing, because it was from Michigan. It was where Borders started. So his name was on this big fucking poster of like all the,
chair
people or like beneficiaries and stuff. So I was always like, hey, I know that dude, but I don't know. His heel stuff with Bruno and the cage matches he has and the stuff with Savage, not Savage, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, his heel work, like any of these guys, like their early 80s, 70s stuff is good. But by the time they're into this era, again, they're being used more as comedy fodder or shtick. And this is what it is, which is fine. I mean, they all made a bunch of bank doing it. So
makes you wonder if like, because I feel like he was kind of taking the Bruiser Brody, like didn't come in and said fuck off. So they kind of took him, who was kind of known as that in his Bruno era, Steel. And then they just went, you're just a comedy guy now. So like Bruiser Brody was smart not to come in.
All right, so as a show out of 10, just as a show, I'll let you factor in your own if you want to scale it based on like a Cindy weekend show, like, or if you want to do it as a full 10, like you would compare it to any great TV. I think it's like I'd probably go 5 out of 10. Like I think it was good. They didn't shoot a major angle. We didn't have a big match out of the gate, but you saw some stars. You set up some future stuff. So I'd go 5 out of 10 as a show. And I think I'd go like 7 out of 10 as a pilot. I think it was like a strong first offering for what Superstars could be. So like if I watched this as a kid, I'd be like, okay, like I'll be back next week.
Yeah, I would go 4 and like 6.5 because I think it's an improvement off of All Star. It felt it felt more closer to the 80s opposed to closer to the 70s that the All Stars look and felt like this probably looked good for the time. You get
the stuff we're seeing now. Yeah. I mean, I think I'll go a little higher just because I think I'd rather watch this than like a modern episode of Superstars. But I know that there's a certain mindset of like short matches can't be good, but I don't believe in that. So
no, I don't necessarily either.
Just because they're short, like they all did the thing you wanted. All the matches were moderately competitive for like guys you didn't know, and some of them had double like big dudes and like really cool characters. So I go way higher as a show, maybe like 7. And for a pilot, like you're introduced to what's going to be the third biggest angle of WrestleMania 3 with Piper and Adonis. You get to see all these characters, and you definitely want to see more of them. So I mean, I think you definitely are tuning in next week if you're watching this, especially if it's 1986 and you're 9.
So where are you going for as a pilot?
As 10? A pilot, I'm going higher, man. I'm going like 8. Like, all right. Like you're getting everything, but you're getting everything but Hogan. You can't if you're not giving me the main deal, then I can't go. But I'm giving it an 8.
Okay. All right, MVP. I'm gonna go with I don't know, I'm trying to think of who stood out the most. Like I thought Coco had a really nice showing in there. I think Bundy looked really good. I think the Hearts looked really good actually too. They just destroyed
the Heart Attack looked great. I would go Piper just off the significance of starting that big feud, and that if that's his return, that's probably the most important.
It's not. He was on before, but it's close to it.
I'm going Adonis because I think he keeps that segment together. We didn't listen to it, but like he's such a good talker. You know that he was gold, and him freaking out and almost destroying the thing, like that's a pretty unhinged thing. And for the time, like for this show, like that's a wild, like fucking with the set and messing with the set. That's still something that very rarely happens. So I think that's really cool. So I'm gonna go with
I'm
Adonis.
guessing we're all gonna go flower shop for the best segment or match.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
LVP. I didn't think anyone really was bad on the show. I think Roma maybe looked the worst of anyone. Like he's a guy that was kind of a name and he just got waxed. SD Jones was kind of on the way down. You expect it from him, but I think Roma was like the guy that had the biggest name that took like the worst beating.
Yeah, I'd say he didn't even get the full entrance. They stuck him right in the ring. Coco got all the shine in the match and the entrance and the post. So yeah, I agree with that. Roma LVP.
Yeah, and Coco wouldn't even talk to him after the match. So yeah.
Okay. And the most era thing. So we'll go most mid 80s. I'm gonna stick with Doherty Socks.
I'll go with the overall Blazers from the announcers.
I mean, graphics is the easy way to go, but
Yeah, that's a good one. The stills instead of the graphics. Yeah.
yeah, and just like the weird effects, but getting put on them.
Very
But
Reading Rainbow-ish.
right,
Yes.
and interchangeable hillbillies is a huge, a huge thing.
LVP's Uncle Luke or whatever, the junior, all that.
Cousin.
Who missed that?
I mean, when you're the best hillbilly, that's like being like the best shit you've ever taken. It's still not like something.
All right, well, this was a lot of fun to do, guys. Ryan, we'll have to dig around. If anyone has any suggestions for us, I think we're going to stick with the pilots for a while. So
Yeah.
if there's a show you want us to do that's a pilot, we're open to anything. It doesn't just have to be WWF. Like we'll do some WCW, ECW, whatever. Let us know. We'll do it. So we got a pretty big list ourselves. So we'll randomize it and come up with a second episode. But there's no timing to on these. Like right, Ryan, I think we're just gonna kind of as they come, we'll bang them out. So yeah, whenever we get to it, check out everything at NorthSouthConnection.com. You can subscribe here on this YouTube channel, like I mentioned earlier. We have a lot of video exclusive content. We also have stuff that's simulcast, both audio and video. So you can check us out on any podcatcher app, plus all social media. We're there. If you go to our Twitter, we have a link tree as well that has everything for you. So check all that out. Check out Chain to the Dead. It's Rocco's band, of course. Check out that music. And otherwise, we're out. Talk to you soon. The excellent adventure rolls on.
Take care, guys.